everyone, this is Cheryl here, your friendly office mom. Hello. Coming to you from very hot and humid Vancouver, Washington, where our SunModo's headquarters are. And today I'm sitting here with Peter, and Peter is our structural engineer. Hi, Peter. Out of everyone, I know the least amount of what Mr. Peter does here for us at SunModo. So I'm really excited to find out what you do, how you do it, and just a little bit about Peter. So let's get started. So just very briefly, what do you do here at SunModo?
So I would say the core of what I do, there are a lot of different roles, but I think the core of what I do, if I had to pin it down to one core element, would be using my engineering and structural engineering knowledge to support the sales team with the documents and know-how and wherewithal that they need to go into different markets that have different jurisdictional requirements and different inspectors and all that stuff, and be able to go there and succeed and not run into problems when their customers are trying to get a project permitted or installed or anything like that. So a good example of that would be for our SMR pitch roof system that SunModo's one of their most popular systems. We have span charts for that. You can get them on the SunModo website, and those are something that I produce. Basically, they're the deliverable that gets out there, and now everybody can use them. It's integrated into the online configurator, and it's used as an internal resource too within SunModo to help different people within SunModo figure out how they're going to quote and configure projects. So that's probably the core of it, I would say, is the sales support thing. But there's also a lot of product design and product development work I do, helping Roland. Roland's the dynamo, the product development dynamo. I call him SunModo's little Thomas Edison, although I think he'd take exception to that because it's probably a little more praise than he's comfortable with. But he does an incredible job designing parts. And my primary function, I would say, is helping make sure that those parts are strong enough to work out in the real world. So taking his great ideas and just giving them that look over and running them through the rigorous tests required to make sure that they work. Because at the end of the day, solar racking goes on roofs and it has to withstand loads. It's a structural thing. And that's where I help out on the product development side.
Cool. So you've been with SunModo for nearly 9 years. It's a long time. So what makes you stay? Is it about working on the projects that you work on that makes you be like, I love working here at SunModo?
You just said 9 years, and I checked that again in my head because I've never worked with a company for that long. Like it's never, never before. And it's gone by really quickly, and I guess time flies when you're having fun. So I think that's part of it. I'm having a lot of fun. And I point that to, I think more than anything, when you're working, it's hard to have fun by yourself. You got to have fun with other people. And so the team members that I've had the privilege to work with at SunModo have been fantastic. And, I talked about Roland beforehand. You are another great example. And Steve, his leadership, which I respect tremendously, going all the way up to the ownership. And going back to the top now and trickling down, I think the ethos that percolates through all of SunModo, one of a little bit of daring and willingness to think out of the box and try new solutions that other people will not try. That and the stick-to-itiveness that comes with that, if you really want to be able to do that, you got to have that mentality of, I'm subordinating myself to a goal that's a little bit bigger than me. And I know it's solar racking. I'm not trying to get too philosophical here, but I think that, when you have people who are committed to a goal, that makes it more fun. And, for me, the goal we're trying to achieve is an important one and a good one. And the way we're going about it is a way I feel comfortable. It meshes with my own character. And I hope that I am contributing to it. It is a rare thing to have that kind of cohesiveness and character within every individual in a company. And, you know, it's a testament to the hiring and to the business relationships that SunModo builds and cultivates that it still functions that way. And I think it's a large part of why SunModo is such a lean team, but can be so innovative and in a lot of ways avant-garde with its ideas and execute on them. You know, you have to be able to depend on each other tremendously, so the trust level is really high. And that's how I live my life. Those are the relationships I want to cultivate in my life. And everyone says, you know, there's a good division between work and life, but I think that, you know, if you've gotten good the principles that make you successful in life and your personal relationship, there's a huge amount of overlap that goes into making your work successful too. You're dealing with other people. You have to depend on other people. And SunModo picks up a lot of intangible efficiencies by having that kind of character across the board in all of its individuals.
I agree. And, you know, for those of us that do work in the office, like we work together for 8 hours a day. I mean, that's more than what time I spend more time with everybody here than I do my family at home, you know, with like school and, you know, activities and all the things.
Yeah. 100%.
And so it really, I know people use this as just like a whatever phrase, but like it really is family. Like
I spend a lot of time with SunModo people. Like it's great that it feels like family. That's what I'll say. And it doesn't always, and it doesn't have to. In fact, it rarely does, I think. But we just so happen to have that formula worked out here, I think. So lucky us, I guess, and hopefully we can maintain it. Yeah.
I think that honestly, like Steve hiring the right people for the right job, like truthfully, he's cultivated like a ragtag group of people that we're all dedicated, we're all focused, we're all more than willing to go above and beyond and do what we need to do and make things happen how they need to happen. And I really appreciate that about him, very much so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to suck up too much. Not that he has an ego issue or anything like that, but he's one of the best business leaders, maybe the best I've ever worked with personally. And I think it owes a lot of that owes to what you're saying here. I mean, from my perspective, okay, what's the team that's been built here? What's their ethos and their mentality? And you know, he's hired people like that, but he also lives it and walks it every day. And every conversation I have with him, I leave in a better mindset about the work and the objective I have ahead of me than when I entered it. And that's pretty incredible, actually, when you stop and think about it, because I don't think I had that effect on people, you know. So it's a truly unique leadership trait, and I admire it tremendously. So you know, it kind of all builds into what we've been saying here about the family mindset and the ability of SunModo to kind of excel beyond maybe the size of the team that it has. You know, it does more than I would have thought possible before I came here. So it's a lot of reasons. Those are a lot of the reasons why I stick around. There's probably more, but we could go on, I guess.
You've seen a lot of products over the years, right? And been a part of developing things.
Yep.
Is there a product that you really feel super attached to? Like that you're like, oh, that was my baby, or like I'm really just proud of what the work I did on that, whether it be something now or something in the past?
There are two products, and for two different reasons. So the first product is the SMR rail, specifically the SMR 100 rail. And that's for kind of the reasons you're talking about. I had a big hand in the design and development of that. It's a really, really well optimized rail. And what that means is how much performance, how much span it gets versus how heavy it is pretty much, in my opinion, is unmatched in the industry. It's that strength to weight ratio is fantastic, and that's really important. And it's also a rail that's kind of established a design philosophy on the pitch roof residential rail, that dual rail classic solar PV system that you see on everybody's houses. It's the most common kind of thing. That design philosophy in terms of our rail profiles is now extended onto other rail profiles that, some in development, some that are already out there. And I think it makes SunModo's rail the most competitive, the lightest weight, greatest strength relative to its weight that's out there. And a lot of that was me sharpening the pencil and, buckling down and doing a lot of work and a lot of analysis, building tools so that we could get a really nice optimized rail. So from an engineering nerd perspective, that is, one I'm super proud of. And it's doing great in the market, which makes me really happy too. Because at the end of the day, you want it to have an impact, or I want it to have an impact in the real world. It's not just enough to say, oh, I created a great Excel spreadsheet to help me analyze this profile or something like that. It's got to be helping people out in the real world, and I feel like we've accomplished that with SMR. The other one that I am really super proud of, and it's not because of my involvement. Because my involvement was a lot less. It was, I was more support and someone who you bounce ideas off of as Roland cooked. And that's NanoRack. I just absolutely love that product. And I really have high hopes for it. I just think it is such a simple, elegant solution that solves so many problems that I've heard about from installers and distributors out there when I've gone out there and visited them, and when I talk to people at trade shows. And it is, it's simple, it's elegant, and it is easy. And yeah, it's not like the SMR rail where I had a huge part in designing that profile, but I got to help someone else cook and do an amazing design job. And because of what its potential is, I just love it. I think it's potentially a huge disruptor for the industry, and it can make everybody's life easier. And it may make my rail somewhat obsolete, it's that willingness to cannibalize your own product or staple things in the industry because you've come up with something so innovative. With this small team, we've been able to do something really innovative, and so yeah, I'm a big fan of that product.
Great. I know. I like my last podcast. I can do NanoRack, so anybody can do NanoRack.
Exactly.
All right. Is there anything that you want to share with our audience? Something that you think should be known?
I would say that maybe it's not something that should be known, but a thought that I keep in the back of my head. It's not something anybody has to agree with me on, but I feel like when I entered solar a decade ago, it was a fledgling industry, and we were figuring a lot of stuff out, and we still are, but we've done a lot of work, and we've developed and matured this industry tremendously, just across the board. And it is a grown-up industry, I think, now with residential solar and rooftop solar. And I think we maybe don't realize that a lot within the industry, because so many of us were there a long time ago, especially people who moved up higher up. And we remember what it was like super dependent on, government spending or government policy and stuff. And so maybe my little piece of wisdom, or maybe it's my, way to be, to maintain my always optimism in a bit of an uncertain time is, this industry is a grown-up industry now. It has a need, and it's proven itself out in multiple markets with different regulatory environments within the United States. So, industries go up and down, but solar's made it, in my opinion. And so I think it's our job to stick to it. And, when we're here working on it, just keep working on it. We'll have our downs, we'll have our ups. I have colleagues former colleagues in Germany who've been through that. So I know this is a bit of a somber tone, but I think it pertains to the moment right now because of, uh, federal policy changes that have happened this year. What we need to know is not to worry too much about that and just keep doing our good jobs, and the rest will take care of itself.
Wow, thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that. That's very insightful. Very much so. All right, so thank you for sharing what you do with us and getting a peek behind the scenes of what goes on in your world. If you want to learn more about what we do, check out SunModo.com, and don't forget to watch our other videos and podcast series. And thank you, Peter, for just meeting with me. I appreciate it.
Cheryl, it's always a pleasure. I love talking to you.
That I'm in the conference room and it's like 5,000 gazillion degrees. But I'm not wearing anything SunModo-y. And so I put on my little sweatshirt and I'm like, it is so hot in here. It's awful, awful, awful. It's not as hot as it can be, but it's bad. So we'll just get started. Are you ready to
Let's
be
do
interviewed? Mr. Peter, I'm so excited to talk to you. Okay. It's like muggy. It's like Midwest muggy.
Really?
It's so rich. And I opened up this sliding glass door and I was like, ooh. Okay, so this is funny because my glasses are like blue. It's like laser lights. Like, I'm trying to like keep my head down because if I put my head up, it's like blue light. Nope, that's stupid. Okay, take two. Like what is it about working on the projects that you work on that makes you be like, I love working here at SunModo?
Yeah, that's a great question. You can't. You want to have.
Love it whenever everybody comes in for a visit.
Even when I steal your swag buckets and
even
load
whenever
them up with bricks.
You ruin my box that I put t-shirts in, Peter. For shame, for shame, for shame. Every time I look at that bin, I'm like, Peter.
I think should be known. Oh gosh. You're gonna have to edit out the long pause here. I have to think about this. Hear that. You know what? It's important to pass muster with Office Mom. If you fail there, you're in big trouble.
He tells me that whenever he's at an airport, if they don't give him an itemized receipt, he asks for one specifically because he's like, I don't want my Office Mom to get mad at me.